Yo, what is going on, guys? And welcome back to 365 Analytics. And here we are. It is week 12. It is another episode of Wednesday Night Game Picks. And believe it or not, we're recording this one a little bit earlier tonight. It is about 3:30 in the afternoon right now. And yeah, we're getting ready to fire this one up and record it because I got some stuff to do tonight. But yeah, let's go right into the record and picks. My record last week was 6-8, an absolute terrible week for me. That brings my overall record to 166. A pretty bad year compared to game picks. 2023 and 2024 have been just really bad for me, and it's went pretty rough. We need a good week, man. That brings us. I won the lock last week, so we're 7-4 on the locks and 3-8 on the upsets. As the year goes on, it gets easier to get a lock right and it gets harder to get an upset right. So yeah, let's get right into it. Week 12 pick'ems. Obviously, our bye weeks are Falcons, Bills, Bengals. I put Lowell because obviously they don't play this week, so we don't have to talk about them much. But Cincinnati Bengals right now, I'm so devastated, man. That Chargers game took a couple of years off my life, and yeah. Jags, Saints, and Jets. And let's get right into the schedule this week. On Thursday Night Football, we have an AFC North battle between the Russell Wilson led Steelers, who have won five straight, going into the dog pound, Huntington Big Field, to play the Cleveland Browns. And this could be a snooze fest. I really could see it being a snooze fest. It really depends what Jameis Winston we get. I could see this being a Pittsburgh Steelers trap game. I could see them losing this game. They're in Cleveland. If we get a good James Winston that throws for 303, I think Cleveland could be competitive, and I think Cleveland could stay in this game. But I'm not so sure we get that. I picked the Browns last week over the Saints and it did not come to fruition. Jameis didn't play very well. I mean, Taysom Hill ran all over those guys. The Browns, they're a lost cause, pretty much, to say the least. Pittsburgh Steelers, one of the hottest teams in the entire National Football League right now. They look like they're on a mission. Russell Wilson, Mike Tomlin look like a match made in heaven. And those guys, they're rolling. I'm going to take Pittsburgh on Thursday Night Football. Might miss a little bit of that game. I have some stuff to do tomorrow night. So I might miss like maybe the first quarter of that game, but we'll see. I might make it in time for kickoff, but I think Pittsburgh wins it. And to start on the 1 o'clock slate, we have the 9-1 Kansas City Chiefs after suffering their first loss of the season, going into Bank of America Stadium to play the Carolina Panthers, and Bryce Young well rested off the bye week. The Chiefs, they're coming off a loss to the Buffalo Bills last week. A lot of people called it Buffalo giving Kansas City their first loss of the season in the regular season in Orchard Park. Josh Allen sealed the game on a running touchdown, and Mahomes threw an interception on the last drive to end the game. Bills win 30-21, and we don't see a 17-0 team. Carolina, they're well rested off the bye. Last time we saw them, they won in Germany and beat the New York Giants. Bryce Young has been playing better as of late, obviously. He's been playing some solid football, doing what he needs to do, and potentially earning himself more of a chance in with Carolina. But Mahomes coming off a loss, a 1 o'clock game versus a team like this, I really can't see the Chiefs dropping this one. With Buffalo winning that game, Buffalo still has an outside shot to get the number one seed in the AFC, so it's not set in stone for Kansas City. So Kansas City still has a lot to play for, and they need to win games like this if they want to get that number one seed. So give me the Kansas City Chiefs on the road. And then we have an NFC North matchup. Solid game between the Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears. This one's in Soldier Field. The Vikings coming off a win versus the Tennessee Titans, where the defense is stifling. Brian Flores has those guys flying around, and that defense is for real. But I'm still not sold on the Minnesota Vikings because that offense, since the 5-0 start, has been pretty sluggish. Going into Chicago, who had an absolute heartbreaker last week, to say the least, versus the Green Bay Packers, blocked field goal for the win, blocked field goal. Packers win 20-19. One positive takeaway. There's still some positives to take away from the game for the Chicago Bears, though. So much fruit fly. Sorry, there's like a little fly in front of me. But there's still some positives to take away from the Chicago Bears, though. Don't get it twisted. The Bears, Thomas Brown looked much better than Shane Waldron calling plays, and he looked like it was the right decision to fire Shane Waldron. Offense looked much better. DJ Moore's usage was better, and yeah, the Chicago Bears look better overall, and I'm actually going to take them at home in this game. They have not won in a little bit. They have not won in a little bit. So it feels like they need this one if they want to stay in the playoff race. And I think they get it done at home at Soldier Field. I I'm just not a believer in the Vikings. I know I'm probably going to fall into the Vikings trap again, but I'm not a big believer in them. And yeah, give me the Bears. And then we have an AFC South matchup and one that kind of hits home to me. It is the Tennessee Titans and the Houston Texans, the Oilers, obviously, versus the Texans. Houston, yeah, all that. But one storyline that I will think of whenever I see this game, while these two are on this game, it is Tyler Boyd versus Joe Mixon. It's heartbreaking. Those two guys, I love those two guys, man. Tyler Boyd, big levels, and Joe Mixon, Joe Dean. So yeah, the game's not very good, but we can take that storyline out of it. I don't really have much to say about this one. The Houston Texans coming off a win against Dallas, better football team. They're in NRG Stadium this time. They're gonna get this done. They want to elevate their seed in the AFC. They're at home versus a team that's much worse than them. Tennessee, Will Levis threw the longest passing touchdown of the season, I think, against Minnesota. I mean, there's not much to say about this. The Texans better football team at home. Mixon is balling out, 3 touchdowns last week, and it's Boyd versus Mixon. That's my main takeaway from this game. But yeah, give me the Houston Texans. And then we have a pretty damn good football game, to say the least. Pretty damn good football game. One of the best games on the slate. The slate is pretty weak, but this is one of the best football games we have on this entire slate. It is the Detroit Lions, who are 9-1. They have won 8 straight. Hottest team in the National Football League versus the Indianapolis Colts in Lucas Oil Stadium, coming off a win. Detroit, they're unbelievable. Dan Campbell, I was a critic of the Dan Campbell hire when it first happened, and boy, oh boy, did he shut me up. Dan Campbell, Jared Goff, this past week, 412 yards. 412 yards from Jared Goff. Dave Montgomery gets in the end zone twice. The Lions absolutely kill the Jags. And Doug Peterson still has a job. It's Wednesday at 3:47 p.m. Doug Peterson still has a job. I can't believe it, but Doug Peterson still has a job, and the Detroit Lions blew them out. As for the Colts, they're coming off a win. Anthony Richardson was back in the lineup and played arguably one of the best games, arguably one of the best games of his entire football career at the NFL level. And he was good. He wasn't great. He was good though. He did what he needed to do. He played better football than Joe Flacco did when he was in there, and I don't think they're gonna regret that decision of bringing him back. Indianapolis still fighting for a playoff spot, so this could be a sneaky upset team at home. But Detroit's unbelievable. They want that one seed in the NFC. Philadelphia could still lurk on them and get it. They're unbelievable. Best team in the National Football League right now with ease, and they're gonna get this done. I think they're a much better team than the Colts, but the Colts could be sneaky and steal this game. But the Detroit Lions got it. And then we have an AFC East rematch. We saw these two go at it in week 5. It's a rematch down in South Beach as it is the New England Patriots at Miami Dolphins. New England, Drake May, and the guys. Drake May, unbelievable. He's making some great throws, he's making some bad throws, but he is doing what a rookie needs to do, and he makes the New England Patriots so much better. So much better. He elevates the New England Patriots so much better than Jacoby Brissett is, and I have no doubt that he is the guy of the future, regardless of what the New England Patriots end this year. at Miami, who they have won two straight. They eked past the Raiders. Tua's playing good ball, and the Dolphins. They're looking at it now like, can we sneak back into the playoff picture if we get this win? Next week we see them on Thursday Night Football on Thanksgiving night versus the Green Bay Packers, so that'll be a good one. We see them against Green Bay next Thursday on Thanksgiving. That's gonna be a fun game. I'm taking New England. I think these two split. I am loving what I'm seeing out of Drake May lately. I cannot understate that. I'm loving what I'm seeing out of Drake May. He's playing good ball. Miami defense is great. Anthony Weaver has those guys flying around, but the offense hasn't necessarily found its peak yet. Tyreek Hill still not playing the greatest ball. He's playing better than he was with Huntley, obviously, but he's looking to have one of the most regression years of his career. And I don't know why. Just a feeling in my bones that New England steals this one. Miami, they're riding high right now. They've won two straight, and I think New England storms in there and steals it, and they go to 4-8. This one's odd. Two teams coming off a bye week. It is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the New York Giants. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're getting Mike Evans back this week. He will play and make his return against the New York Giants. And the New York Giants. Daniel Jones benched. He's done. We see these guys against Dallas on Thanksgiving as well. Tommy DeVito is now the guy at quarterback for probably the foreseeable future, unless they pivot to Drew Lock down the stretch, but who knows? We're probably going to see a Cooper Rush versus Tommy DeVito matchup on Thanksgiving Day. The post meal nap is going to absolutely hit during that football game, I'll tell you that. The post meal nap is going to hit so different, but that's next week. Right now, Tampa Bay at New York. It's Tommy DeVito starting. I think he could give him some new juice. Daniel Jones most likely done in New York. He has an injury clause on his contract that says if he gets hurt, he has a lot of guaranteed money, and that New York has to pay, and they don't want any risk of that as they're sending Daniel Jones to the bench, and they're going Tommy DeVito for it looks like the rest of the year. I'm gonna take the Buccaneers here. They've lost a few straight now. They need one if they want any chance of getting back in, and this is one they have to have. I think they get it. Mike Evans is back, gonna bring some juice to the defense. Baker Mayfield's still playing great football. They're well rested. They're gonna get this done. And I mean, a couple weeks ago, before we move on to the next game, a couple weeks ago, I did say Atlanta lock up the division. Atlanta looks awful right now. Atlanta looks bad. They look bad. They got the brakes beat off of them by Denver last week, but Tampa Bay, you never know. They could sneak back in. They did get swept, which is tough, so it's tough for them to come back. But and then we have the last 1 o'clock game. It is the Dallas Cowboys at the Washington Commanders. This slate this week, man, is kind of mid. It's kind of mid, but it's Cooper Rush going into Washington. First Dallas versus Washington game this season, I believe. This game's in Northwest Stadium. It's in, well, I call it FedEx Field still, but it's Northwest Stadium. FedEx Field. This game's in Northwest Stadium, and they're coming off a loss. Washington's coming off a mini bye. Last week, we saw them lose to Philadelphia on Thursday Night Football. They're coming off a mini bye. They're at home. They've lost two straight. I don't have much to say. Like, they're going to win this game. They're a much better football team right now. Dallas is a lost cause without Dak Prescott under center and call their season over because it's over. It's over. So there's really not much to say about it because Washington's fighting for a playoff spot. They have a pretty cupcake schedule coming up, so I think they can sneak in. Philadelphia probably should win the division way things are going. Philadelphia and Washington are still to meet one more time. Washington probably going to get it done, if I had to guess. They're going to get this one done, and Cooper Rush is a lost cause. Start Trey Lance. And then we start the 4 o'clock games. It is an AFC West battle, another rematch here. These two playing for the second time. It is the Denver Broncos and the Las Vegas Raiders. Denver, Bo Nix, Unbelievable. He looks great. This rookie quarterback class looks really, really good. Bo Nix, slide him into your offensive rookie of the year conversations because he is playing out of his mind right now. He started the season off slow, but he has caught his fire and caught his hot streak, and now he's playing good football. Denver's defense is still flying around as usual. The AFC playoffs. Denver Broncos have basically solidified their spot. They haven't solidified it because Indianapolis can still make an outside chance. Miami, if they win this week, the Bengals are pretty much a lost cause, but we'll talk about that next week. Denver, they look great. Bo Nix, enter him in your offensive rookie of the year conversations. Vegas is not beating them. Denver's defense is elite. Bo Nix is playing good football, and man, they're doing well. They're doing well. I haven't been. Bo Nix could still have an outside chance for offensive rookie of the year. I mean, Jane Daniels don't solidify it yet because never know. The AFC playoffs, Kansas City, Buffalo, Baltimore, or Pittsburgh, Houston, Baltimore, Chargers, Denver. That might be the playoff. We might already have it pre-Thanksgiving. The AFC playoffs might already be decided pre-Thanksgiving, which if you told someone that in September, they'd literally be baffled. So it's kind of crazy to say that now, and I think the Denver Broncos get it done. They're going to win this football game. Yeah, they're going to get it done. And then we have the marquee game of the week, NFC Divisional Round rematch. Purdy versus Love. These two played a great game last January. It is the 49ers in Lambeau Field to take on the Green Bay Packers. The Niners, they're coming off a bad, bad loss, man. They're coming off a bad, bad loss versus those Seahawks. Geno Smith, rushing touchdown with was it 13 seconds left in the game. 49ers, they drop to 5-5. And this is one they might need right here. They're going to Green Bay to take on the Packers, who won off a blocked field goal, who didn't look great. This should be a good game. Tom Brady and Kevin Burkhardt are on the call for this game in Lambeau Field. Finally starting to get cold. The Sunday before Thanksgiving we have here, obviously. Jordan Love, one thing to say about him, he's playing some solid football. He is. But he's looking very turnover prone. He's looking like the new Josh Allen right now. He's turning the ball over a lot. He's doing his due diligence and throwing the touchdowns, throwing the yards, putting the stats up, but the turnovers are a little bit of a problem. I don't know. This game should be good. This game should be good, I think. I'm going to take the 49ers. I'm going to take the 49ers. I think that this is one that they need more than the Packers do, and they get it done. Green Bay, they didn't look very good last week, man. They didn't look very good, even though they won. Give me the 49ers to pull off an upset here and go to 6-5 and stay in the NFC West hunt. And then we have another solid game. 4 o'clock window pretty much has the solid games. I mean, these two games, these two 425 games are very, very good. It is the Arizona Cardinals and the Seattle Seahawks. Arizona Cardinals, they're coming off a bye week. They are well rested. Offense is playing great. The last time we saw them was against the Jets, where they absolutely beat the brakes off of them. They're coming off a bye week. In Lumen Field in Seattle, where they got a win last week, and they're 5-5. Arizona's 6-4. Big game, big, big, big football game right here we got going on. Big, big, big football game. Seattle loses this game, I'd pretty much knock them out of NFC West title contention. Arizona's defense still has a lot of holes. I mean, they're still very questionable. They have some solid players. Like Garrett Williams is a very underrated corner. I mean, Max Melton's playing some solid ball. Buda Baker is unreal. I'm gonna take Seattle. I think at home, and they keep this division tight. I made a TGIF video on them a few weeks ago. This division, who we don't know who's gonna win this division. Like we have no clue. Arizona's 6-4, Seattle's 5-5, San Francisco's 5-5, and the Rams are 5-5. Like we have no idea who's gonna win this division. when I made that video, I think it was 4-4, 4-3. It's tight. It's tight. I think Seattle gets it done. That means we have 49. If these picks come to fruition right now, I haven't picked the Rams game yet. We have 49ers 5-5. We have Cardinals 6-5. We have Seahawks 6-5. Well, actually, that'd be 49ers 6-5 too. That'd be 49ers 6-5 too. So we have three 6-5 teams. And if the Rams get this one done, we'd have four 6-5 teams. That's unreal. And that brings us to Sunday Night Football. It is the Philadelphia Eagles and the Los Angeles Rams. Pretty good Sunday Night Football game, if I do say so myself, in SoFi Stadium. The Philadelphia Eagles, they're hot right now, too. They're one of the hottest teams in the National Football League. They've won six straight. They're 8-2. They're playing good ball. Saquon Barkley, if he had the touchdown pedigree, man, I think he'd be an MVP candidate. But Jalen Hurts steals all of them with the tush push. Defense still has some question marks. They have star power on that defense, but they still have some question marks. Zach Baun's looking like he revived his career in Philadelphia, playing some of the best ball of any linebacker in the National Football League this year. Jordan Davis is playing great. I mean, they have some good players. Jalen Carter's playing great. Milton Williams is playing great. C.J. Gardner-Johnson's playing pretty well. Darius Slay. Quinyon Mitchell looks like a defensive rookie of the year candidate. He was my D-Roy pick at the beginning of the year. He looks like a defensive rookie of the year candidate. I think they go to seven straight. Philadelphia's hot right now, and I still believe in the Rams that they can make a playoff run. But this is one they might need to do it. And I think they can get it done because they're at home. But Philly's hot. Philly's hot. Saquon Barkley's playing great ball. The Rams D line is great. Don't get me wrong. Jared Verse, he might be the defensive. We have two defensive rookie of the year candidates in one game. Jared Verse might be the D Roy too. Kobe Turner's great. Bobby Brown is great. I mean, they have some solid players in that D line, man. They have some solid players. But I'm gonna take the Philadelphia Eagles in this one. And then, is this the best game of the week we have right here? Potentially is the best game of the week. This is a great football game. It is the Baltimore Ravens and the Los Angeles Chargers. It's the Harbaugh Bowl. It is the Harbaugh Bowl, the Harbaugh Bowl. We saw one in the Super Bowl years ago, and now it is Ravens Chargers in SoFi Stadium. It's gonna be a fun game. It's gonna be a fun game. Monday Night Football. Ravens. They're coming off a loss to Pittsburgh. It was a bad loss. It was a bad loss. But every single Ravens Steelers game you'll ever watch is gonna look like that. The Chargers, inexplicable what they did to us, man. Inexplicable what they did to us. That big of a lead for them to have in the first half, and the Bengals to climb all the way back. All the way back, the Bengals climbed. Chase touchdown. T. Higgins deep ball. Another Chase touchdown. And then the Bengals break my heart like that. That was one of the hardest ones I've ever had to stomach. I didn't even want to make a video on it. It was that bad. I was thinking of making a video on it on Monday. I didn't even want to make a video on it. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a TJF video this week where I preview the outlook of the Bengals season, or I do something else even. I don't know, but we'll talk about the Bengals again soon because they're 4-7 now. Not many people want to hear about them, to be honest with you, because their playoff hopes look slim to none right now. So we'll talk more about the Bengals soon. But the Chargers, that defense is great, man. The defense is great. Don't get me wrong. Harbaugh is turning these guys around. Herbert looks like he's having the most fun he's ever had in his entire career. But one thing that you don't do is bet against Lamar Jackson on Monday night. I learned in week 7 when they played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Monday night, I learned my lesson the hard way. Lamar Jackson on Monday Night Football is an entirely different animal. Give me the Baltimore Ravens. And those are this week's picks. We only have 13 games this week with 6 buys. Pittsburgh, Kansas City, Chicago, Houston, Detroit, New England, Tampa Bay, Washington, Denver, San Francisco, Seattle, Philly, and Baltimore. My lock of the week being Washington over Dallas, and my upset of the week being New England over Miami. I'm going to have to change the font of that after and all that. But right now, let's get right into the power rankings. And here are this week's power rankings as we have a new number one, folks. It is the Detroit Lions moving up to number one, followed by the Bills and the Chiefs dropping 2 spots, going to three. Pittsburgh goes up to four with the win over Baltimore. Steelers at five. We have five of the hottest teams in the entire National Football League in the top five. Baltimore goes down 2-6 because it was a close loss to to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Minnesota goes up to seven, and even I don't like them that high. But I mean, 8-2, the winning's there. They're 8-2. The defense is good. I can't really bet against him. Chargers go all the way up into the top 10 with how they play on Sunday Night Football. Cardinals stay the same. Commanders still stay in the top 10. Houston goes nowhere. Green Bay goes down four. They got lucky. That's the bottom line. If Chicago made the field goal, we could be talking about them even lower right now. Denver at 13, Seahawks 14, Dolphins 15, Rams 15. Rams 16, 49ers 17. We have NFC West, three out of these four. NFC West has been tight all year. Falcons, Bucks back to back. Indianapolis goes up to 20 with the win over the Jets. Cincinnati 21. They decrease one after the abysmal defensive performance on Sunday Night Football. Saints stay the same. Bears go up two. Same thing I said about Green Bay. They almost won. Jets at 24, Browns 25, Cowboys at 26. They could be even lower. I was thinking about putting them even lower, but we stayed there for now. Patriots at 27, Titans at 28. You could argue to flip flop those because Tennessee beat New England a few weeks ago, but that's that. Carolina stays the same on the bye. Giants go to 30. They go up one with Tommy DeVito. Raiders go up one even on the bye. And the Jags, I had to put them at 32 because what the Lions did to them should be illegal. So, yeah, that is gonna do it for the picks and power rankings video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let's get our record right. If you guys enjoyed, please like the video, subscribe, turn on notifications. It'd be greatly appreciated. And yeah, I will see you guys next time.